So close but so far away.
Pokemon Ranger, I choose you!
What's up guys, your Ranger Boy here and welcome to another review of the Pokemon X, Y and Z anime. Today guys, we're tackling episode 12, which is called Ash and Serena Catching It at a Dance Party. And guys, I know, this episode has been so hyped because of all the previews and all the really hopefully beautiful AMOUR shipping moments. And I gotta say, there were AMOUR shipping moments. Of course, the previews of course have revealed a lot, but those moments weren't really that moments we were all been waiting for. But nonetheless, I still really enjoyed this episode because it was hilarious as hell. It was really good. It was so entertaining, so hilarious and so enjoyable. So without further ado guys, let's go straight into this story, shall we? So guys, while our crew is resting at the Pokemon Center, Serena spontaneously decides to check the latest Tripocolon news, and then she suddenly discovered that Pierre, the host of all those Tripocolons, actually is hosting a dance party himself with a special guest. Of course, it's Aria. And of course, Serena is really looking forward to this. But not only because it's a dance party for performers, but also because it has been announced that this dance will be a dance with a specific partner. And of course, Serena, as we all know and love her, she immediately looks at Ash and blushes as hell. She even blushes more when at that time when Miet suddenly appeared and declared war on Serena when it comes to Tripocolon and when it comes to Ash. And speaking of Miet, of course Miet, as a performance and love rival, of course decides immediately to take Ash as her partner because Serena had no other choice but to take Clement as her partner, due to the fact that of course Eevee doesn't feel really comfortable around other Pokemon than normal Pokemon. And also, I really loved the expression of Serena when she came to the conclusion that she also had to dance with Clement, and she wasn't really happy. In the end, she didn't really mind dance with Clement, but at the beginning she wasn't really happy because of course she wanted to dance with Ash. And after arriving at the dance party location, of course we are seeing all the trainers preparing for this dance with really beautiful dresses. And I just love, for example, the moment when Miet treated Ash like some kind of slave and kind of forced him to support her when it comes to choosing her dress and other stuff. And we could also see that Serena of course is spying on them and also is kind of really desperate. But nonetheless, after the preparations are done, we are seeing a short dance between Pierre and of course the special guest Aria, and we can see how all the performers are really excited about seeing Aria and her really strong appearance as the Colors Queen, and how this strong appearance really influenced all the participants of today's dance party. And after that, the actual dance begins. And guys, I gotta say, first of all, props to Clement. He didn't dance that bad because of course Serena is a really experienced dancer, and of course she kind of led him so that he didn't look that bad. But on the other hand, if the dancer isn't really that good, even the best dancer can't do anything, and that was the case with Ash and Miet. Oh my god, Miet is actually a really good dancer, but on the contrast, Ash is a really horrible dancer. He can't dance at all, and because of that he also kind of dragged Miet down on his level. And because of that, I just laughed my ass out when I watched this scene. How it was just so hilarious how Ash, with his density and his attitude, didn't manage to dance at all, and I just was so happy to see that because it was so hilarious. And also because of this density, there wasn't really a Ash and Miet moment. So guys, the guys who really ship Ash and Miet, I'm sorry guys, maybe next time. But after that, the dance party suddenly changed to a rotation party. And of course, we are seeing several dancers. And I really forgot to mention that of course Jessie as a performer is also participating in that dance party. And of course she's choosing James. But then of course when the rotation dance suddenly happened, we could see, so, for example, James dancing with Serena, and I was like, oh my god, that expression. I gotta point out that I love James in this episode because his facial expressions were so funny, so hilarious. even during the tag battle, but I will come to that later. And we could also see, for example, Arya suddenly dancing with Ash, and I was like, oh my god, please no, no Ash, please don't make yourself look like a dork in front of Arya the Colors Queen, please no. But unfortunately we couldn't see Ash and Arya really dancing, so I was kind of sad because of that, but because I really wanted to see that, how Arya could actually handle that chaos called Ash. And we could also see, for example, Jesse dancing with other guys, and how those other guys really look like scared, and that was also really hilarious. And we could also of course see the Pokemon dancing, for example, Eevee dancing with Bunnelby, and Eevee also dancing with other Pokemon. And we could also see of course that she really feels comfortable around normal Pokemon. And of course there was Pikachu dancing with Slurpuff, and of course Slurpuff and Pikachu really aren't a good matching. And then finally, when the time has arrived, they changed the partners, and Serena finally had the chance to be Ash's dance partner. And that beautiful moment between them, all this tension, all the feelings, and then before their hand even could reach just a little bit, then suddenly the music stopped. The fucking music stopped. And you could see, of course, Serena being really disappointed with those comedic facial expressions. And I really felt sad for Serena, because you could see how much Serena actually wanted to dance with Ash. But luckily enough, before they even started to do the dances, they had to draw cards. And those cards revealed to be some kind of lottery, which trainers would actually do a tag battle. And luckily enough, Ash and Serena had the opportunity to do a tag battle together. And I also really loved the tag battle, because not only because it was Ash and Serena, but also their opponents were Miet and James. And I gotta say, Miet and James were really awesome tag team partners, I gotta say. And especially James. I really liked the tag team between James and Miet. And of course, like I said, I really like the facial expressions of James. So the tag battle begins, and it seems like that Miet and James have the upper hand against Ash and Serena. And it also seems like that Pikachu is nearly defeated, but of course Pikachu and Ash won't give up, and so won't Serena and Eevee. And after a really motivational speech of Serena at Eevee, suddenly Eevee evolves to Sylveon, and the evolution of Sylveon was so beautiful, guys, so beautiful, fantastic. And not only that Eevee has evolved into Sylveon, but it also has learned a new move, which is Fairy Wind. And with that Fairy Wind, it blasted Inkay and Slurpuff away, and Serena and Ash in the end won that tag battle. And of course, not only Serena is happy for her new evolved Sylveon, but also the crew, and also Arya, because later on Arya also is reporting that really exciting news to her mentor, and that mentor is of course Palermo. And Palermo also tells Arya that she has noticed Serena a long time ago, and that she's also excited for Serena's development as a rival. So in the end, the one true AMOUR shipping moment that we all been waiting for didn't really happen, but I was really glad that this episode was so good, it was so hilarious, and in the end Serena got a new evolved Sylveon with a new move, and everything was fine in the end. So guys, let's go straight into the rating. What can I say about the story? The story was okay, guys. I gotta say, the story was okay. I have to admit, the previews really have spoiled a lot of things, and because of that I had to take some points when it comes to the rating, because if you can count one and one together when it comes to the previews and the episode, you could kind of predict what could happen. And also because we all knew that the XY writers kind of have that habit to troll us. In the end, I gotta cut off some points, but I in the end really enjoyed the story, with the tag battle, with the dance, with the tension between the rivalry between Arya and Serena, and Arya and Miet, and also in the end that Serena, thanks to her determination and love towards her Pokemon, that in the end she got a Sylveon. And because of that I will give it a 8 out of 10. It was really good. The story was really good. What can I say about the focus? The focus unfortunately was really irritating, because the title said Ash and Serena catching it at the dance party, and at the beginning that title was really confusing, and in the end the focus wasn't also really on Ash and Serena, and it was more like a little bit Ash and Serena, a little bit focused about the rivalry between Arya and Serena and Arya and Miette, and of course the dance party in general. But of course the dance party was also part of the title, and maybe because of that I won't rate it that low, but still because of the fact that the focus wasn't really entirely on Ash and Serena, I have to give it a 7 out of 10. Because like I said, the focus wasn't really entirely on them, and it was a focus on like everything around Serena and her personality, and because of that I will give it a 7 out of 10. What can I say about the animation? The animation, guys, oh my god. When it comes to animation, of course the Pokemon X, Y, and Z series is fantastic. But in this episode was fantastic in a really hilarious way. I loved the expressions of Serena when she thought about dancing with Ash, and when she nearly reached Ash. It was really beautifully animated with all the blushing, with all the sparkles. I also loved the animation of Eevee's evolution to Sylveon. It was beautiful, of course with the Dory theme. But the one animation which I really loved the most were James' facial expressions. Really, I love James' facial expressions. Oh, I laughed out loud so much when I saw all those expressions of James. I just thought that was one of the best parts of this episode, and I really love James in this part. His facial expressions too, during the battle, after the battle, during the dance with Jessie, before the dance with Jessie, during the dance with Serena. It was also hilarious, and even when the battle animation was there, James' expression during the versus screen, it was so hilarious. And because of that, I gotta rate this high, guys. I gotta rate it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I really loved all the animations in this episode. It was so hilarious. So in the end, this episode deserves a 8 out of 10. With the recommendation, guys, watch it. Although you might be disappointed as a mega hardcore Amour shipper that there aren't really that much Amour shipping moments, but as a Pokemon fan in general, it was hilarious as fuck. It was hilarious, it was enjoyable, it was entertaining, and I just recommend you watch it. It was so good. If you have a bad time, if you have sad feelings, watch this episode and you will get happy in no time. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait for next week for the battle of Ash vs Alan. So guys, watch out for this next week's episode, and see you guys later. Bye!